Welcome to Intro to Soldering Part 1, Soldering Safely. This is the soldering iron. From here and back is called the iron's handle, which is safe to hold. From here and forward is called the element. The element gets hot, like really, really hot. Above 400 degrees Celsius and well above 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot enough that if you touch it, it gives you a 3rd degree burn instantly. Never touch the element, even if you know that it is turned off. The soldering iron should always be either in your hand actively soldering or sitting in the stand. You should never be holding onto the iron while trying to do another task. For example, the number one mistake I see amateurs doing is they'll hold onto the iron while they quickly try to put the two wires together that they're going to solder and then continue going. Never, ever, ever do that. Make sure you put the iron away, then you can grab your wires, twist them together like you want to, grab the iron and do your soldering. But only in your hand when actively soldering. And when you are finished, make sure that the iron is back inside the stand, turn off the power, and unplug the cable. In our class, we are only going to use a lead-free rosin core solder. Lead is a serious health risk, so we don't want any solder that has lead in it. Rosin is a special kind of resin that helps the solder to flow more freely and makes better joints. What you can't see probably on the camera is a tiny hole. There's a little tube that goes all the way down that contains that rosin. Exposure to rosin can cause eye, throat, and lung irritation. It can cause nosebleeds and headaches. Repeated exposure can cause really bad respiratory issues. Make sure you're always soldering in a well-ventilated area. The fumes tend to rise, so don't stand directly over your work. And when possible, use a fume extractor. It's a special fan that contains a carbon filter to suck the fumes away rather than breathing them in. Make sure that you are always wearing your proper protective equipment. Specifically, eyeglasses are required to be worn whenever actively soldering. When you are finished soldering for the day, make sure that you wash your hands so that any residual residue from the flux or the tin is no longer in your hands. Make sure that your workstation is clear and free. You don't have any loose papers laying around. Those are highly flammable and can cause safety issues. When you are finished for the day and you are done soldering everything, once again, make sure that the iron is inside the stand, turn off the power, unplug the cable, and then grab a wet paper towel or a wet cloth and wipe off your work area to make sure that it is clean and organized.